I was actually gonna do that right now. I was gonna try to find a program or something that I could
My point, my point
listen
is
to
here.
myself.
I go to Culver's. I'm tired. It's been a long
Hang on.
day.
Did you start your thing?
What?
Did you start your recording?
But why would you think I started my recording?
Because this sounds like a great story for a recording. I'm just saying.
Oh, oh. Anyways,
I think-
yeah, I did, but I just was like, how do you know this? Like, what?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, what I was saying. How long did it work? Been training. I'm just like, I want myself a crispy chicken.
Yeah.
And I want myself a milkshake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want myself a Sprite.
Well, a sort of a Sprite.
And I get there, and they give me everything I asked for, except they're like, here's some napkins, which I thought was weird because they don't typically give me napkins separate from the bag.
Hmm.
And I I almost said McFlurry. I grabbed my milkshake, and suddenly I got milkshake on my hands.
They didn't clean it off?
And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like trying to figure out like what's going on here, like why I have milkshake all over my hands. And then I realized that there is a split in the side of the drink. And we're not talking like a little split. We're talking about 75% of the cup from the top to the bottom almost.
They had to have known
Yeah,
that.
the napkins.
Why are they giving it to you?
The napkins.
Like I could see if they were like, oh, there was a little bit of a spill on top. Here's some extra napkins to take care of that for you. But they just like gave you a full split cup and were like, here's napkins. Better eat fast. Is that what it came down to?
Anyways, I've never freaked out in a public place. Well, I mean, I was in my truck, so I guess doesn't
Until
matter.
today.
And I wasn't about to freak out today either.
No.
However, it did not stop there. Well, actually, I take it back. Just now that I tried my Sprite just now, I realized that it was obviously Sierra Mist and also that it tastes like water with a hint of carbonation.
I'm not sure if this is what happened, but I do know that when they like start getting out, because I feel like maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like some of those drink dispensers actually mix their drink with concentrate as it's like being made, kind of thing, as you're getting it.
Just saying, I'm very upset. Very
Maybe,
very upset right now.
Maybe that's what happened, and your concentrate for Sierra Mist was running out. I don't know.
Culver's, you fucking let me down tonight.
Poor Culver's.
No,
They
poor
got-
me. Screw
They
Culver's.
got. Are you gonna give them the 2-star?
I'm gonna get on Yelp right now. I'm gonna be like, nope.
Yeah. I heard a comedian making jokes about the whole star rating. People be giving people bad ratings, like 1 star. And he's like, really? He's like, is it really 1 star worthy? He's like, what, you didn't get your fries or something like that? Was that really worth 1 star? He's like, you're saying nothing could be worse. That was the worst possible case scenario. You didn't get your fries. 1 star. And I was like, he makes a good point. And then he made another example. He's like, what if I dip my dick in your fries?
Oh my,
Is-
that
is
escalated
not-
quickly.
Is that not worse than getting no fries at all? He said, leave room for less stars.
I mean, technically, you wouldn't know that they dipped their dick in your fries
I suppose.
unless it tasted extra salty.
I don't think that's just a dip dick then. I think
Yeah, you're right. That's probably not a dick
I
dip.
think
That's
that's
more of a
something
ball
else.
dip. It's more of a ball dip. Ugh, I don't know how we went from bad food to like way worse.
Way worse food? Yeah. What a great start off. Welcome everybody to Tan&Dan podcast as we talk about nasty things, which is not going to be the topic for everything, I don't think.
You can't sit here and tell me that nobody has thought, has even like just kind of humored the thought that someone's be putting a dick in their fries.
Oh no, it's I'm sure.
Does it regularly cross your mind?
No, actually, honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about that. But
Oh, okay.
but I'm just saying, to have that actually happen though, I'd be willing to bet it's happened several times. Not to, maybe not to me, but I'm just saying, over the course of the fast food industry, with the people that work at fast food industries, typically, yeah, I could see that being an easy joke that someone thought would be hilarious.
That's
For
that's
some.
that's not optimistic thinking. That's like saying like the fat kid who's just extremely fat's never going to be thin.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. If you think about it, think about all the high school kids that work at all the fast food restaurants. How many adult people work at fast food restaurants that would be mature enough to not do just stupid things to your food?
I
And
mean,
even those people, if they're working at fast food restaurants, not to offend anybody if they work at a fast food restaurant, but I mean,
what age range are we talking here? Because I'm thinking if they're within 25, oh, it's totally possible. Up to 25.
I was gonna say under. I feel like a lot of fast food restaurants are 25 and under. I bet most of the workers,
I think
except management, maybe.
up to 25, the possibility of dipping your D or balls in fries is a possibility.
Well, now we're in some statistics ranges here. What does it get worse as you go down the chain? Is it like 18 to like
I think
20?
it does.
You have like
I
a
think
50%
it does.
chance, and then like from 20 to like 25, it drops by like 10 or 20%.
Yeah, man, because the confidence is like, it's not. You know what? It's not even confidence. It's
Maturity.
arrogance. It's arrogance.
Oh yeah.
It's ignorance. I think your confidence actually. I retract what I said earlier. Your confidence builds up as you get older. So like, if you did it later, like more towards 25, that's just you not giving a shit, and you're just like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, I could see that. I guess I could see it either way. I was gonna say I could see it being more of a thing with like a younger, like 18 to 20 maybe, with their friends that they make at their work, and they're all goofing off. Manager's not around. They're like, "Bro, stick your balls in his fries. Bro, stick your balls in his fries, bro. It'd be hilarious." That's what I picture is like some dumb kids at work just like bored.
Could you imagine being like the manager and catching him in the process?
Oh my gosh, I don't even know what the paperwork would cause or something like that. But like, they probably happen so often. They're probably just like, Jimmy, fucking put your balls back in your pants. Give him another set of fries, please. Just keep going.
Or you're just like, I'm sorry. Like you apologize to him, you know, because you're just so shocked.
Yeah, you turn around. I'm sorry, I saw your balls.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you were busy. Oh.
Okay, how about this though? How many times, a different percentage, how many times do you think some kid did that thinking it's gonna be hilarious, then burned the shit out of his balls so this fry just came out of the fry?
I hope every single one. But seriously, like, Culver's, man, dropping the ball tonight. I'm not impressed. Not impressed.
I haven't been to a fast food restaurant in a while. Probably like.
So what you're saying is I'm fat,
months.
is what you're telling me.
No, I was just saying. Like,
Subtly, very
I feel
subtly.
like I don't have time. I feel like I just don't have time to swing it, which is hilarious because it's fast
What are you
food.
talking about?
But...
You were here like an hour and a half before me.
Well, I'm not talking about like that time. I mean, like you're like driving by. I'm just like, I'll just make something when I get home. Like, I don't even feel like swinging in.
But swinging in is faster than making something at home.
I know, man.
Unless it's like a hot dog. Are you making hot dogs every night?
No, I'm actually like making like chicken strips, freaking microwaving them.
Those are pretty good.
Ultimate bachelor life of microwaving food.
For 2 more days.
Yep, and the wives are back. Won't have to worry about
day
that
and a
crap.
half. Day and a half.
I actually feel like I've gotten fatter, not having.
Because you haven't moved.
Well, that's maybe that too, but I mean, like, I feel like when she's here and making food for me, I don't eat as much. I feel like because I am literally waiting for food, and then she makes food like different parts of the meals. When I'm not waiting for food, I just be like, oh man, I'm hungry, and I'll just go snack on things, and I'll like eat all day long. Usually, I brought a whole pizza to work with me yesterday.
You are out of control.
And I ate the whole thing.
That sounds like me, like, every time I buy pizza.
Yeah.
Even when there's the 4 of us, I'm like,
okay,
so this is mine.
Yeah. I didn't eat the whole thing. I ate one piece the night before. I made it the night before, ate one piece, and I was like, I'll just bring it to work with me. And I bagged 2 pieces per bag. And when I woke up the next morning, I just was like, I grabbed like 2 bags, and I was like, yeah, I'll just grab them all.
You know what I'd like to do is this. I don't know why this just jogged a thought in my mind, but you know, Brad and Jared, they're like, oh, we want to come on the podcast. Like, it'll be hilarious. We'll be way better than you guys. Everyone will love us compared to you guys. I would like to like bring like a kind of food that one of them like really likes, just super likes, and like show it to them and be like, you won some, like, and like go to hand it to them and just be like, oh.
I think you just get silence for a minute and they'd be like, what the fuck, Paul?
Then I would just walk away like, that's right, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like
Would you walk away though?
Well, no, I mean, I would honestly, I'd be worse. I'd just stand there and keep eating the rest of it right in front of them.
I mean, it'd be hard to walk away when you're podcasting. You like leave the room and be like, wait, I was in the middle of something.
Oh, I don't mean that during the podcast. I mean, like at work, I would literally go do that.
Oh, okay, I see.
Like the next time I see them, I would love to do something like that, and then just like have no idea it's coming. I mean, they might now if they actually watch this.
Yeah. Here's a topic. Since we won't get into where things of these happen, but what is your opinion on practical jokes in the workplace?
Oh, we're not going there. Are we going there?
Well, I'm not saying any. This is all hypothetical.
This is hypothetical.
Hypothetical jokes in the workplace. Do you think it's like, yeah, like, I mean, we all know you're not a huge. You don't really do practical jokes. Like,
I mean,
really at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, Jared would know all about my most recent practical joke.
Is the most recent one the one I know of?
The most recent one would be the one you know of. And I guess I could go into it. I mean, I guess Jared just wants to hear how he got owned again.
Well, I would say this is a funny story to me. I was laughing just at the circumstances of how it rolled out. It really lucky on your part of just like the time frame.
Okay, so for the audience, Dan's right. I mean, it's not that I don't like jokes. I do like jokes. I love jokes. I just don't do them to other people because
you don't partake.
I don't really like when they're done to me. However, I deal with it really well. Really well. Like, you'd never know that I don't really care to be pranked. Other than I'm saying, please stop. But anyways, so a coworker of mine. We won't name names, so it starts with a J. And we've said his name several times. He decides since day one he has had a target on my back. Well, you know what? It's not even me. You know what? He doesn't even care. I mean, he pranks everybody. Like there's like a little bit of like that kind of impish evil delight. Impish evil delight. And he's from South Dakota, so that doesn't even make sense to me. I feel like their humor is like, what do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Like that's the kind of humor that I picture when I hear.
That's so offensive in so many ways.
Well, you know, North Dakota versus South Dakota. I'm gonna have to go with North Dakota.
There you go. See, you win, North Dakota.
You win this time in this specific situation.
Yeah. Okay. Continue on.
Okay. Anyway, so we've worked at our company for like 5-6 years now, and he's probably pranked me, I don't know, like 20 times, and it's always the same thing. He doesn't even change it up. Okay.
Because he's bought like a huge ginormous pack of the one thing, and you just gotta continue to use it until it's gone.
So what they are like a stink bomb, is what they are. So it's like a little packet, and you pop it, and then you throw it and you run.
You throw it and run because you don't want to smell it, right?
Oh, yeah. So he has proceeded to put them under my driver's side mat. So when I get in my truck, I pop it. And it smells like ass immediately.
That was smart. I wouldn't have thought of that.
No, that's actually not the smart one that he did. The smart one that he did was he like popped it and put it like under between my hood. It's kind of like between my hood and the windshield or something to that extent, to where it was actually taken into my intake, my air intake. So when I turned on my heater, I got gassed. And it being, whatever, wintertime at the time, yeah, I had my heater on.
You had to
full
have
blast.
it on.
Full blast. And I was like, why does it smell like ass in here? And I couldn't make it stop. Because I didn't know that my heater was the cause.
Oh, man.
So, anyways, getting back to my perfect, because this is how it all comes down. I finally had enough. He finally made me strike the last. He struck the last match with me, I should say.
So you started to do your conniving plan.
This had been years in the process. I was like, one day, I'm gonna get this son of a bitch. and I finally decided after he freaking stink bombed me again, man. He threw it in my truck and he like ran away. He didn't run, but he like was away from me and then came over. He's like just laughing automatically. The moment I hop in my truck, he's just laughing his ass off. And I knew as I saw him laughing right before the smell hit me that I was screwed. So that was the last straw. This is like the 20th time he'd done this to me in like 6 years.
You've had enough.
It was finally time for some revenge. So I decided, okay, well, how am I going to get him? Stink bomb thing, I mean, it's good, but it's a little weak. It doesn't last very long.
First retaliation back, you needed something serious.
I needed something serious, yes. So I decided, and I went on Amazon, did a little research, had to know what was going to be good, what was going to be industrial strength. I like that word for what I was planning, industrial strength.
I bet that was one of your searches too.
It was. And I finally came across it. And it fit perfectly in my mind. Like, this was it. And it was called Liquid Ass.
Oh, boy.
And, I mean, just that, when you say the name, the mental image I get is perfect.
So you would think it looked like what it smelled like then?
Oh, you would think it would be like the wettest
shard,
the wettest sharding of the pants you could ever do.
Yeah, like I'm done for the month, going home, not coming back to work ever.
Yeah, so I got it, and I mean, I was like, I was conniving. I just felt so like, ha ha ha, like this is gonna get him. I like would put my fingers together, like in that evil kind of like triangle, like da 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 da. It's coming. It's gonna be great. Like rub my hands together, like. Whoa. Yeah. Anyway, so it finally comes, and I'm like, I look at it, and it's just awful. Like, it is awful. Like, I can smell it through the plastic. I had to put it in a Ziploc bag inside of another Ziploc bag. I haven't even opened it yet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is perfect.
Freaking UPS or USPS is just like, ugh, just like, what's this package?
It's better than I could have ever imagined. So now I'm at that point where I'm actually nervous. Like, this has been 6 years of just feeling oppressed and like nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fuck this up. It's got to be perfect.
Yeah.
So I start conniving again. I start planning. How am I going to do this? Well, I know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to test it on somebody. Yep. I'm going to test it on somebody. And I'm not gonna do it's not gonna be bad. I just need to test it to see how it is. Right? Now I gotta give it a little test run.
Mm-hmm.
So I pick a coworker. Won't name names. He knows what he is if he ever listens to this. Or he knows who he is, I should say.
Yeah.
And I wait till he's out of his vehicle. And I kind of clear the area, make sure he's not around. He's not looking, not seeing what's going on.
Yep.
And I open his truck and I spray it on his seat because it's a spray. It's a liquid spray.
Yeah.
So I spray it on his seat.
Did you put gloves on for that?
I Actually, I had nitrile latex gloves. So yes, I did.
I was
Because it was that bad.
Curious.
It was that bad.
Yeah.
So I gave it a couple sprays. It was like 2 sprays. That was it. I didn't even do more than that. In fact, I thought that was too much, and it was barely anything. So I shut the truck door real quick. I saw him coming. Shut the truck door real quick, nonchalantly. Slipped it in the Ziploc bag, slipped in the other Ziploc bag, put it in my back pocket. Took my gloves off, threw them under his truck. And I was like, what up, man? You know, playing it cool. Like, you just grabbing something from the office? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, cool. Well, let's go hit the site because we're gonna work together that day, which is kind of awkward in this situation. Now that I think about it, wasn't that good of an idea to do that right before we work together. But anyways,
Then you guys smell it all day long, man. That wasn't smart at all.
yeah, hindsight's 2020. Hindsight's 2020. Anyway, so he opens the door. He hops in his truck. He immediately hops out of his truck, and he is like, "What in the hell?" And he's looking at me, and then he's looking around his truck, and like when I say he looks at me, I don't mean like he suspected me. I mean like he was just confused and caught off guard why it smelled like ass in his truck.
He's like, what happened?
He didn't suspect me. He was just like, what died in my truck between the time that I went into the office and the time that I came back to my truck?
Oh, man.
So then, and he's like, oh, man, it smells awful in there. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, oh, you know what? And I just see like his face just like light up when he says this. He goes, I know what it is. I know what the hell is going on. I'm like, okay, well, I don't even know what you're talking about, but all right, what's up? And I watch him reach down on the driver floor, and he grabs these boots out. He's like, dude, from the cow shit from my cows, man. Oh. And he like takes those boots and he throws them in the back of his truck like, problem solved.
See, this is funny because if you think like the mindset of like, oh, I know what it is. Like
his face lit up, man.
Mentally, like, I know what it is. I'm gonna fix this. We're gonna move on with the day.
So, yeah, I know. I was thinking to myself the whole time. Do you know what it is? Do you?
Yeah.
So he hops back in his truck. I'm like, all right, let's go. I hop in my truck. We start driving. He's in front. He gets like 20 yards to the front gate, and he just gets out. At this point, I'm already laughing. He's like, what in the hell? And I'm like, look, man, I can't do this to you. It was a prank. I sprayed some liquid ass in your truck. He's like, you didn't. And I was like, yeah, man, I feel bad. I just had to do a test run. He's like, that smells awful. Like, that is so bad. I can't believe you did this. And I'm like, dude, it says that it's supposed to dissipate in like a minute. He's like, it's been like 10 minutes. Like, I was digging through my truck and all this. You just let me do all that? And I'm like starting to feel like really bad about it. I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, it was kind of stupid of me. I don't know why it's gone away. He's like, well, where did you spray it? I'm like, well, I sprayed it on your seat. He goes, why would you spray it into my seat? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm still not understanding where he's going with this. He's like, it is soaked into the fabric. It will be there forever. I'm like, oh, you better get yourself some perfume right now. You gotta smell like a cheap ass whore or something. I was giving him all this crap, but at the same time, I felt really bad. And he's like, he said the one thing that I didn't expect him to say. He's like, I'm gonna have to get you back. And for me, again, someone who's like, no, please, no.
Yeah.
I was immediately afraid because
You're
now
I made 2 enemies.
I have 2 enemies. Exactly. So putting that to the side, I learned that it works. It's very successful. I pissed off who I would consider a pretty good friend who was now going to get me back. But putting him to the side for now, I knew my test run was successful. Now it was time for the big J to get wrecked. So I started plotting. The next time I see him, it doesn't. I don't care where he is. The next time I see him, this fucking guy is going down.
Yeah.
And wouldn't you know it? I ended up at one of our sites where him and I were kind of bullshitting, shooting the shit for about 5 minutes, and he had a contractor on location over by this little building is like 100 yards away. Well, maybe it's like 80 yards away from the office building that we were in. And he was kind of supervising him, so he went over to go check on him. I thought, oh, this couldn't be any more perfect. My truck was parked 80-something yards away from this little building that he drove over to go check on this guy. About 80, like it had to have been 80, 85 yards. And I thought to myself, this is my chance. The moment he gets out of his truck over there, I am going to, I knew he had to go inside the little building to check on that contractor. I knew the moment he went in that building, I would have very limited time. And I was going to run from this office all the way over to his truck. And I'm watching him. And he just pulls up over there, opens his door, hops on out, shuts his door, and just like with just chill, relaxed, calm, just kind of a love and life personality that he has, just kind of struts on into the building to go check on him. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good. And the second he closes that door, I throw the office door open. I just freaking crash down the stairs. I book across this 85-yard distance as fast as I possibly can. I close this distance. I get to his truck. I fling his door open, both doors, driver's side and passenger side. I put the liquid ass in there. I just start spraying. I don't even know where I'm fucking spraying. I'm spraying everywhere. To the ceiling. I'm spraying the heater with the vents, all the vents of it, his steering wheel, his seat, everywhere. Everywhere in his truck. And I'm like, okay, how long has it been? About 10, 15 seconds. Slam the door shut, and I sprint all the way back to my truck, and I hop in my truck, and I just start driving off. Just driving off the location. So what he sees is he comes out, and he sees me leaving, like I'm gone. But he clearly saw that the path that I took, there is no way that I could have gone anywhere near his vehicle. It's not even possible from the path that I took. And he saw me drive on out. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I didn't have time to like secure this stuff. Like when I got back to my truck, I threw that liquid ass across the side of the passenger side to hit the floor in there. I was just praying it didn't spill everywhere. But anyways, so I'm gone at this time. Like I'm gone. I'm like, I get about 10 minutes down the road. I was surprised it even went that long. About 10 minutes down the road. And suddenly I'm getting a call. Ring, 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 ring. It's Big J. I let it ring a little bit. I'm like, yeah, yeah, bitch, yeah. And then I answer. I'm like, what's up, man? What's going on? And he's like, the unmistakable smell of liquid ass. And I'm like, what you talking about, man? Like, liquid ass, like, what's that? And you gotta remember, I have never pranked anybody. Never pranked anybody. He's like, that's what it is, liquid ass, what you sprayed in my truck. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Totally playing this off. Like, I'm not playing it off well, I'm laughing. But I'm playing it off and like, dude, I don't know what you're talking about, but that's hilarious. You call me up and start talking about liquid ass. Like, and he's just kind of like not believing me. Like, yeah. I'm like, Jared. Oh, I mean Big J, excuse me. Big J. Mm-hmm. We'll edit that out. Steve! Okay, anyways, we'll cut that out. So I'm like, Big J, look. You and I were talking in the office, right? He's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, you went over to the MCC building over there, and to check on that contractor. He's like, yeah. I'm like, how long did you do that? He's like, I couldn't have been in there longer than 15, 20 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so you're telling me? I'm like, are you sure? First off, are you sure? He's like, Paul, I know, well, we're going to say Tan. I know how long I was in there. I'm like, okay, well then you know it is impossible. You're telling me that I ran 80 something yards from the office all the way to your truck, but bombarded it with this liquid ass, and then made it all the way back to my truck and drove off the location? And he just immediate silence. Immediate silence. Just
you gotta put that seed of doubt in there.
Just quiet for like 5 seconds almost. He goes, well, yeah, I suppose you'd have to be like insane fast. I'm like, dude, I was like driving out. Like, you saw where I was. He's like, well, yeah. And I'm like, look, Big J. Have you pranked anybody else recently?
There you go.
He goes, oh shit, now that you mention it, I just got Eric yesterday. And I'm like, you did what? He's like, yeah, well, I caught him on the shitter and I threw a stink bomb under the door. And I'm like, then why are you freaking blaming me? And he's like, man, you're right. So anyways, the conversation ends. I was laughing so hard by this point, like tears were going down my face. I mean, I don't even know how I managed to play that off, but I played it off. Okay?
You made it work.
Except only a week later, he calls me up and he goes, you motherfucker. Because he has that accent, and for whatever reason, that's how he says that. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, hello to you too. And he goes, you did spray that liquid ass in my truck. And I go, what? We have been over this, dude. Like, I didn't do anything. He goes, save it. TJ ratted you out. And I'm like, what the hell does TJ know? And he goes, oh, well, that you tried it on him first. I'm like, oh, that's right.
So did TJ ever get you back as an actual prank, or did he just use that as your punishment? He just ratted you out.
So I thought that he was going to wait to get me back. Like, I don't know, a couple days later, whatever. Little did I know, after we were done working together that day, he had drawn a dick and balls, like, in 6 different spots on my truck. And I mean, not like pleasant ones. I mean, the hair and everything.
He made it. Oh man. Oh yeah.
Okay. It was more detailed than it should have been. I feel like he went too far. But it did last about a month in his truck, and it was soaked into his seat, and he tried using that ozone whatever spray, and it just made it worse. So you know what? I feel like we're even.
Dude, that's surprising. Because for anybody that hasn't had an issue in their vehicle and needed ozone works really well.
I bought him 6 of those things because he was complaining so bad. And he said he used them, and I did smell it, and it was still bad. It was still bad. I mean, it's soaked into that fabric. Bad.
Would you, like, dump half the bottle into it?
No, but I should have done that in Big J's truck. I should have unscrewed that, just spilled it everywhere.
Oh, man. I thought that was hilarious. Just like the way, like the planting of the seed of doubt, just like, oh, I could never have made it that distance. It would have had to take like 15, 20 seconds, man. And he's like, you know what? You're right.
I basically convinced him that I either had to be an Olympic runner or a cheetah to have made that distance.
And secretly, he found out that you must have been, because that was some serious running, man.
my vengeance propelled me. There was no stopping me from my goal.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
I think it was pretty good.
I think we really I don't think we've done any pranks like that. No pranks
I don't
for
prank
me.
people. I don't. This was not me pranking him. This was me exacting 6 years of revenge. This was totally justified. There is absolutely nobody that can tell me that this was not deserved.
Jeez, man.
I mean, they could tell me, but they'd be wrong.
Yep, yep. Yo,
So-
I would like to know this happened to me. This isn't even a prank. This is just nature for whatever reason just likes me because
some fries.
I probably wasn't. I don't think I was even working for 3 months yet, maybe 4 months, and for whatever reason, a mouse decided he liked my truck. And
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse found a way to get in my truck and then was like, this is nice.
This is real nice. Actually, it's
This is
technically my
nice.
truck. Technically my truck.
It was your truck. That was also a very funny coincidence, but yeah, he got in my truck and I don't even know how long he was there before I realized there was a mouse in my truck.
Bro,
because,
don't
like,
be a
when
lion. You be feeding
you-
that mouse. You were
No,
feeding that
no.
mouse.
when I get in my truck, I would hear something. Like almost sounded like, I don't know, like if something was in your back seat that was like rolling around on the ground or something like that, just slightly when you turn corners.
I would
And
think
I
your
didn't think
truck's
anything of it.
possessed.
I didn't think anything of it until one day I get in my truck, warm my truck up, get in my truck, take off, I'm leaving. I'm probably not even 5 minutes down the road. I look over, because I hear it again, look over to my passenger floorboard, and there is a mouse that, like, is sitting in the floorboard looking at me. And as soon as I make eye contact with this mouse, the mouse just, like, darts underneath the seat and goes and hides. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's a mouse in my truck. And then I'm picturing in my head all these scenarios of this going horribly, horribly wrong. Because I don't care who you are. If a mouse surprises you and just jumps on your lap or your shoulder, your arm or something like that while you're driving down the road, shit's gonna happen, man. I'm telling you right
You're
now.
gonna scream like a girl?
I'm gonna scream like a girl at the surprise of what I would probably think like a ginormous spider or something just freaking just attacked me, you know?
A dynamic spider just
Freaking
leapt on
full
me.
hairy spider or something just attacking me, and yeah, I was just picturing this, and I'm like, if I crashed my truck on the way to work today, I was like, I don't think they'd believe me when I said a mouse attacked me.
I would not believe you. I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, right. Nice story. Yeah, so that's why I was like, you know what, I gotta get rid of this mouse. So I tried for probably 3 days. I was trying to get this mouse out of my truck. I finally got to work, got out of my truck, pulled all of my like gear, my extra like my safety bag for the winter time. It's got like food and clothing and all that kind of stuff in case you need extra change of clothes. Pulled everything out of my truck, and I'm searching for this mouse. Mouse is nowhere to be found. Gone. I'm thinking like, okay, it left. It found its way that it came in, it went out, it's gone. I'm like, good, mouse is gone. Problem solved. Probably about 2 hours later, I hear scurrying. Freaking little mouse is like, just like
Pitter-patter,
freaking
pitter-patter.
of feet in my truck again, and I'm like, where is this coming from? And I'm listening for it. I finally realized this mouse has somehow made it inside the walls of my vehicle, like it's going up through the vinyl. And it's going onto into the roof. It's like freaking made. It knows my truck better than I know my truck at this point. Like it could find anything.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, it was like that for like I said 3 days. I would hear it. I would see it occasionally. Could not
I
get
would
it
see
out.
it occasionally.
Yeah.
He'd just
I
be on my
finally-
passenger
I
seat
finally
riding
named it,
shotgun.
like, I think I named it like Fred or something like that. I was just like, fuck, it's here to stay. I can't get rid of it. Like,
He's just riding shotgun. Like, bro, don't hit the bump so hard.
yeah. Eventually, I was like, you know what? This mouse gotta die, man. This mouse gotta die. I went and bought mouse traps. I put like 4 mouse traps in my truck every night, on the back seat, the front seat, and I caught him. I cured him, and that was that. But yeah, it was. I just kept thinking in my head, like, if I crash my freaking work truck because a mouse jumps on my lap, there's just no no explaining that.
I mean, that's all good. That's all good. But I distinctly remember you telling me something about some pretzels.
Oh no, that's a different topic, man. Hey, Dot's pretzels.
Is it a different topic?
It's a different topic because it wasn't. Well, I think it was after the mouse actually.
Was it after the mouse?
Pretty sure, which makes it actually nastier that I think about it now. Dot's pretzels are so good, man.
The one thing that's good out of North Dakota, Dot's pretzels.
Addicting.
Pretty sure they make them with like meth or cocaine.
I go buy myself the big bag.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Wait, you don't have the big bags over where you're at?
Not the corner post. They have them at the Holiday.
$10 bags. Boom. 2 pounds. 2 pounds.
The Holiday, man. I got the big bag. I was so happy. I can't chew. I had my freaking big bag of Dots pretzels, 2 energy drinks. I was about to get it. And I opened my bag of pretzels. I sit there on my passenger seat. I'm leaving out of town. I'd go around the roundabout. I look over and my bag of Dots pretzels has fallen over.
And floor?
And spilled about half the bag onto the floor.
See, that actually hits me home. That hits me where it hurts too. Love Dots pretzels.
I was so mad that my big bag has now turned into a little bag. And I paid for a big bag, man. I was gonna eat big bags worth. I looked at it and was like, well, half them pretzels aren't even on the ground yet.
Oh, no.
So I was eating pretzels off the ground for like half the day.
I mean, I can't say I've never done something like that, but...
Bro, I just kept looking at the pile and was like, look, that's a big pile of pretzels. Half that shit ain't touching anything. That's like it was still in the bag.
You're like, it's out of the bag. It's easier to grab.
And so I ate down to where I felt was comfortable.
Where was that? Where was that? Like a slim layer off the ground?
Well, it was probably like the last 3. You know what? It's like whatever.
Oh, maybe 1.5. I mean, who's counting?
Yeah. But no, I wasn't letting the pretzels go to waste, man. I was like, I spent, what was it, like $15 for the big bag? I don't even know what it is now.
Here's a question. I don't know why this just came to me, but it just came to me. Have you ever been so scared? Well, I shouldn't say that. Let me rephrase this. What is like the scariest moment you've ever experienced in your life? Could be a ghost, although I don't really believe in ghosts, but kind of do.
I would say what's kind of funny because I honestly don't have like.
Not yet.
Being an adult, like more. Well, I was like. I don't know, I might have been 17 then. But there's this eerie feeling when you, I don't know, it's, okay, I'm going to start from the beginning. At our hunting camp.
Oh, it's a hunting ghost story. I like this. Let me get situated. Oh, yeah.
It's not even a ghost story. It's just literally like, when you start coming to the hunting camp, and like I said before, you're way back in the woods. There's no saving you if something happened.
Like what? Like if a bear comes in and he's like, "What's up, pal?"
Break a leg by yourself. There's a lot of variables. There's not very good cell reception. Like it's a safety thing you got to keep in mind when you're back there. But growing up in it, now like as the 15, 12, whatever it's been, I think it's like 13, 14 years now. I've been going up there. It's like my backyard. I don't think about it anymore. I'm used to it. It's literally like going in your backyard. You don't think about the animals or anything like that. I can know all the terrain. I know the territory. I don't worry about it like I used to as a kid, kind of growing up in it. I want to say, so I started going when I was 14, I believe. So this is probably, I guess this is a kid story then. So basically, it was probably my 2nd or 3rd year. Somewhere around there, my older brother stopped coming to the hunting camp. He got preoccupied in other things. My younger brother wasn't coming yet. And so it was just me and my dad at the hunting camp, basically for the next, I want to say it's like probably 5 or 6 years before anybody started coming back up with us again. But starting out, though, just me and him. And my dad usually sleeps like a rock. when he finally gets to sleep. Well, I shouldn't say that. He not a rock. I guess that's like saying he'll sleep through anything. Once he's asleep though, he's just out. You don't really gotta. It's just me at this point. You know what I mean? Like he's right there, but it feels like as a kid you're by yourself. You know, something happens. All of a sudden, he's asleep. He ain't gonna be able to get to you in time. You dead. You know?
Yeah, you did, man. You did,
dead, man. So I would get woken up every now and then by just like, I don't know, a rock would roll. Our camp is really within like 100 yards of a very main game trail that elk use all the time. Other animals too, but a very main game trail for elk. And you'd hear them throughout the night occasionally going across that face, and rocks would be, you know, they'd kick up a rock and it would roll down the hill. It's a pretty steep hill, so you would hear the rocks moving and shifting when animals went by. And as a kid, first thing you think of is the worst thing. Oh, like there's a bear out there or something that's going to eat you, kind of thing. And you don't have any like weapons other than your rifle. It's unloaded. You know, I was just like, man, just like the first thing you think of is like the worst case scenario. So, like that always happened.
Michael Jackson.
I'd freaking wake up and hear that like the noise shift, a branch break, something that you knew there was animals out there, but you don't know what they are. And as a kid, you think of like the worst thing and blah blah blah, and that always freaked me out. But that's not really the scary dash annoying thing. I'm not sure if this is like the scariest thing I've ever done. It's the only thing the first thing that came to my mind. But there was an owl, dude. This owl was the creepiest owl in the world.
Are you serious?
I don't know why. Yes, it was the creepiest owl in the world.
Yes, I'm very serious right now.
Owl would freaking like on the hour, freaking woo fucking in the middle of the night.
What's creepy about that? It's an owl. It hoo-hoos. It does nothing else.
It did it. And right after it woke me up out of sleep, I'd hear something. Fucking branch would break or a rock would roll. Every night for like 4 nights in a row, this owl would hoot, it'd wake me up, and then I'd sit there, because I couldn't go back to sleep, listening to the freaking animals and other things. And the only thing I can think about now is it must have been like as things are moving, the owl like responds, because like it makes noises. Like certain animals would do that kind of thing when it like chipmunks and squirrels do that when something gets too close to make chirp or whatever. I was thinking maybe that's what it had. Like older now, thinking back to it, like maybe that's what was going on. Something was coming through the area, and the owl just freaking hoots for some reason because something's near it. But yeah, it was like 3 nights in a row the freaking owl would hoot, and I'd be hearing noises right up the hill from me, and it would keep me awake all night thinking of crazy things like a bear's gonna rip through this plastic and eat me, and my dad ain't gonna know about it. He'd be sleeping. But anyway, I finally got to a point where I was like, I told my dad the next morning, I was like, if this owl don't shut up, I'm gonna commit a felony because this owl gonna die.
Bro, hold up. I don't know what's going on, but my OBS, I don't think it's been well, it's
don't
weird.
worry about it. I'm recording.
Oh, okay. Okay, good.
If yours is not, so
yeah, because it's like at like 9 minutes and 58 seconds. It's like super weird. I don't understand what's happening.
Huh.
All right, go
But
ahead.
anyway, yeah, it was a weird thing. That probably wasn't the scariest. That's probably a horrible story for the scariest thing that's happened to me. But yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind. This freaking owl is annoying as hell. Wake you up. Then you're sitting there as a kid thinking about all these crazy things that are gonna happen to you. And I tell you what, even now, like I said before, it's like my backyard going outside. But when it gets dark, sleeping in the little plastic tent, I went and got myself a handgun. But I bring that up there every year, and that thing sits right by my bed. And I'm just like, something trying to get me now. It's gonna die first.
Listen to you.
It might take me with it, but it's going down too.
Starting with that owl.
Though I will say, I did have a dream one time because we all carry handguns up there, and we all have handguns sitting by our bunks. I just picture a freaking bear coming in camp, a whale or something.
Or you like hit the bear like a crap ton of times. He just like rolls down the hill.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a horrible, scary story. But yeah, that was the first thing that came to my mind. Was that freaking owl, man? I hated that
All
owl.
because of an owl.
It freaking drove me nuts. Oh man, hated that owl.
All because of an owl.
Yep.
Oh, so what else we got, Danielson?
Um,
Do you have any topics? Any topics
top picks
for
I was gonna
episode
say-
3?
for episode 3. Oh man, we have so many options. I would like to talk about stocks. I feel like stocks would be a great.
No, I mean to fill in the blank for episode
For the-
3 that we're redoing. Like not redoing the
Oh.
whole thing, but just like 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, we just do what we did before.
What was that?
Just answer whichever question that question was.
I
we just
have
ask that
those
question.
questions. Hold on.
We just ask that question again and fill it in.
Do. You mean ask that same question, but have you not mention work?
Yeah. We have other questions too, though, didn't we? That we skipped over.
Hold on. I gotta find it. It is right here. Okay. Let's see here. Do I still sound okay? Have I sounded okay this whole time?
Yeah.
Does it sound like way better than normal?
I feel like it's pretty clear. It's pretty good. I'm not sure if it's better than what you have been, because you've kept it this way before, right? It sounds good. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think I've actually kept my face like in front of it.
That changed a little bit. Like you just shifted a little bit. That did sound better.
Oh. Well, anyways.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Really?
Yep. Muchos better.
I'm
It's like me.
pretty close to my monitor, or not my monitor, but my.
Here's the thing: is when we get this close, you gotta we can't
You can't
over
yell.
exaggerate things.
You can't
like
yell.
you can see
Distorted.
you can see the desktop audio symbols when we're talking here,
And it gets to the yellow.
Yeah, it jumps. It gets pretty close. It gets close to that red.
It's
I
like
mean-
I'm almost in the red.
Yeah, it's pretty close, which is odd because I'm watching mine though, and mine is not getting anywhere close to that.
Yours gets to about 3/4 of the yellow.
3/4,
Like it's
like to it.
almost like it to the end of it.
Oh,
But-
it's getting up there.
Like
to
it's
red.
in the yellow 3/4, almost to the red.
Oh, okay. So it's not showing that on mine. It's weird.
You have to scroll down.
No, I mean like I can see it. It's just not. It doesn't go up that far.
Ooh, weird. Okay.
But anyway.
All right. So
Are we
here's
gonna talk about these questions for the other podcast in this podcast?
yeah. Why not?
No, okay.
I can
that's
I
like
can
a-
cut it up however I need to.
Yeah, it's like a backtrack podcast.
It's a backtrack.
It's like behind the scenes of the scenes that we're not behind because we're actually in the future.
Except only we are behind.
Well, we're behind on that one,
But
this
in
one's
the
gonna be- this one's
future.
gonna be the future. So you're gonna see behind the scenes, of, not in that podcast you're gonna hear it, but the next one, because this is gonna be podcast 4.
Oh, here's a good one. I have a hunting question for you.
Okay.
I have a hunting question.
I like hunting questions.
This is yeah, I think you might. I mean, you'd be able to answer this question pretty well. I think.
All right. Shoot.
What is worth?
Fried chicken.
Everyone likes fried chicken. I don't care who you
I
are.
don't know.
I don't care who you are. What is worth spending more on
Ooh.
gear wise to get the best? If you had to pick one thing out of
We talking
hunting
about
gear,
brand? Or
we're
just
we're talking about gun,
Okay.
like I don't know,
any of your
stock,
gear, anything you
barrel,
hunt.
scope, clothing,
Okay.
deer, elk whistles, calls, whatever.
Bro. Okay, we're not good.
If you had
said-
one thing, you only pick one thing that you could spend as much money on as you wanted to,
Yeah.
what would it be? For hunting, specifically.
Okay, I'm picking one thing that I can spend whatever I want on. Not like I can pick whatever I want kind of thing.
One
Like
thing
one
that you
item.
can have whatever you want. One thing.
Well, if
I would
we're
think
going off
scope.
of-
I would think you would say scope.
Well, okay, but if I'm picking one thing though, and that's the only thing I can have, is that what we're going off of, or just one of the best things I want? Because if I'm picking one thing, a scope ain't gonna be it. Then you can't shoot anything. You don't have a gun.
No.
You're talking about right now, what I have and what I would want to buy.
Yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
What you have right now, yes.
if I was gonna buy, well, I'm gonna do this in two parts because I felt like the first part of your question was like, what is like the most valuable? Almost felt like, what would you want to buy out of all your hunting? What's the most valuable piece? Would be like, man, it's a tough one. It's a crapshoot between a good gun and quality
I thought you
clothing.
said something about like if you don't have a good scope, doesn't matter how good your gun is, it's crap.
No, it's actually the opposite.
What?
Because
Really?
you can have a cheap scope. I can go down to the store right now and buy you $100 scope, and it'll do the job.
What?
It'll do the job. If you don't have a
I
gun,
feel like you got to be careful here. I feel like a lot of people are going to go the other way on
hey,
this.
if they disagree, that's fine. In my opinion, if I spend a quality amount, say anywhere ranging from $700 to like 1,100, quality amount on a good brand, on a good tested hunting rifle, I can pick up just about any scope I want and put it on that and be accurate at decent distances. I'm talking 300-400 yards. I can
Really?
do that. And if other people can't, then maybe you should practice. That's all I'm saying.
I'm like not even a hunter at all, and I'm just like cringing so hard right
But
now.
no, honestly, that's in my opinion. If you can go buy. Here's the thing. Here's what you gotta know about guns. If you buy a cheap gun made with cheap products, it is not going to shoot as accurate as a gun that's made well. It's not like other things in life where you can buy a cheap flannel shirt and a expensive flannel shirt and be like, oh, it's like this one's way better. Like it's still a shirt to me. Like I'll wear both of them. Doesn't really matter. But for guns, it's like if you buy a $200, $300 Savage or something, or like the what's a good one
I thought
like the
Savage
Axis.
has become a better brand than it was before.
Well, I feel like all guns, really, most brands in this day and age are to the point where they can almost guarantee sub MOA at 100 yards. A lot of brands, even cheaper guns now, can almost guarantee that, and a lot of them do. But yeah, I just feel like the gun itself is the main important part because, like, for instance, my brother bought a uh crap, what was that? I want
Like
to
a
say
Browning.
no, it was I think it was a Savage.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it was a Savage,
it
you're
was
right?
it was the Savage Axis, I
And it
believe.
was a 7 mag, I thought.
Yeah, no, 30-06.
Oh, you wanted the 30-06 like your dad.
Yeah. Well, they've shot that forever. He had a 30-06 beforehand that happened to be stolen. Um, he wanted a 30-06 again. I'm the one that really loves the 7 millimeters. Those are my favorite. But no, he got 30-06. He got the Savage Access 2, I believe, and it's decent gun. Even that, like I said, the guns themselves nowadays, even the cheaper ones are still decent guns. They're still grouping pretty well at 100, 200 yards. You don't have the huge variances. I can't even say that because even older guns were good too. I think it was kind of like a hole in the wall. Like every now and then you get a crappy one. I feel like now they're a little bit better about that. I'm not saying that's fixed. Obviously, you always have crappy guns here or there, just a fluke. But no, basically, what you're really paying for is the materials. The Axis, if I remember right, or it might have been its competitor, which I can't remember, one of those, the Rugers maybe. The stock like flexes just a little bit, and that sounds like nothing to just like a regular person, like, oh, well, the stock flexes a little bit. What's the big deal? But when you're talking about accuracy, long range, um, stability is key. Because when you're firing and your barrel heats up, it flexes, and what they call harmonics is your barrel will actually vibrate. And as it vibrates, as your bullet's leaving the chamber, as your barrel vibrates those harmonics, it changes the flight pattern. And actually, that's why like different weights of bullets and all this kind of stuff. actually affect the way they group. That's why when you go buy a gun, they tell you to buy lots of different brands of ammo if you're not going to reload, and test all those brands, because your gun, you might buy the exact same gun someone else did side by side, same brand, same model. They might like different bullet weights and different brands of ammo just based on the how the rifling and the barrel length and all these different kind of things. So
You got to explain something to me here real quick. You have to explain this to me. Logically, in my mind, if let's say my gun is crap, okay, but I have an amazing scope,
yep,
and I shoot once, and I can tell that from where I shot, like looking through the scope, like I aimed at something, let's say,
yeah,
and I clearly saw that it shot to the left.
yep.
I can't adjust for that with that
No,
amazing
because
scope.
what you're asking right now is if that was happening and it was consistent, accurate, where it was shooting to the left, that would be your scope, not your gun. If your gun shot to the left when you sighted it in to be dead center, and it wasn't you that made that pull, that mistake, then that's your gun, not your scope. And then you will not be able to accurately judge where the next shot's going to be, because your gun might vary. I had a 7mm, an old Winchester Model 70 that the barrel was shot out. It was just completely toast. I spent over $100 for 2 years on ammunition trying to get that gun to sight in to where I felt comfortable with it to take it hunting. And you would get 1 shot down, 2 shots down, 3 shots down. You'd start pulling your group together. You start zooming or sighting it in to where you felt really comfortable that you got into that like inch, 2-inch mark. And then you'd be like, I'm gonna throw one more. You throw one more, and it would be like 6-7 inches off to the right. And I'd be like, damn it, like something's happened. Maybe it was me flinching. You throw another one, it would be like more off to the right. Like, what the hell? Is it my scope? I went through 2 scopes. I went through scope rings. I went through new ammo. I cleaned the barrel. I decoppered it. All this different stuff. And what it comes down to is that gun's barrel was just shot out. It was toast, man. It would just randomly change by a hair here or there, and it was the most annoying thing. So if you have a gun like that, if it's your gun's crappy and it's doing that, you can't accurately adjust for your drift, because you're looking
But
at it
you
and saying,
killed elk with that gun still, regardless.
bro, you rifle enough rounds at something and you're gonna hit it eventually.
Okay, fine, fair enough.
But no, you're right. I did. I had several years, and I'll tell the last one. I had several years that were an issue, where I almost missed elk, and by some miracle, I happened to get lucky, and get them. But my very last year, which was 2 years ago now, my gun just progressively got worse and worse, to where I bought a $600 scope. I just completely cleaned every inch of it. I resanded and relayed molding to where I had rebedded the chamber, all this different stuff. Try to make it accurate. It didn't change anything. Really annoying. I probably spent $1,000 with the scope rings, bedding it, cleaning out all the copper, all this different stuff to get this gun to shoot accurately. And to finally find out that when I brought it in, they're like, "Oh, your barrel's toast, man. That's what's going on." But no, the last time that I finally was like, "This is enough's enough. I'm buying a brand new gun," was I was up at camp. It was towards the end of the season. Finally see something that comes out that's shootable. Get all excited. You're ready to go. I shoot, and just like nothing. Just like the animal just like stands there, turns around, like, what's going on? All the other animals, their heads come up. I rifle another round. It turns. I shoot. Freaking just the whole group after the second shot. You get one shot down, and a lot of animals just don't really do much. The second shot is like, oh shit, something's going on. Take off running. Freaking running up the ridge. I rifle another round. I catch him back. I lead them. I shoot. Nothing. Dude, I was freaking out. Freaking first shootable animal I've seen all season long. It's like 6 days in. I'm about to lose it right now.
How many
Never,
seconds?
ever.
How many seconds elapsed during these shots? Like, how many times did you shot in a minute?
In a minute.
Well, okay. How
That's a
how long like had elapsed between, let's say, shot one
it
and shot
varied.
4?
It varied because it comes down to a shooting opportunity. You know, you gotta wait for a good opportunity. So if he's moving through trees, you gotta wait for him to come back out into a clearing, kind of thing. Luckily, in Eastern Washington, there's not a whole lot of timber. There are in some locations, but there's not a whole lot when you start getting up on the ridge sides. So you catch them coming through these little patches. So that's what I was doing. You're waiting. I was shooting. I believe I shot 10 times.
Wow.
I went through 10 rounds, and my gun as a 7 mag only holds 3. So I'm shooting and then reloading, and shooting and reloading, and shooting and then reloading some more. So, a miracle, the fact that the animal was still even in the area after that many rounds to even continue to shoot. That's just ridiculous.
That's just his fault.
Itself.
That's just his fault.
And then on top of that, the fact that I managed, luckily enough, again, happened to harvest the animal. And when I finally got over there, I had only hit him twice out of the 10 rounds. And both times were in the chest cavity. I don't know when those hit. It could have been the first shot, and just for whatever reason, sometimes elk just don't go down. It could have been the last 2 shots. I don't know. But I about threw my gun down the hill, dude. I was done. I was like, I would have been so mad to lose an animal after all the work you put into that, because the gun that I've been trying to put off, like I can make this work. It just wasn't working. And then also kind of frustrated at yourself, because wounding an animal is it's not something I ever want to do. To just like not just spend the money and buy a new gun, to not have that possibility, you know? So that was frustrating too. So the next year I was like, I'm done with that. So I took all of the expensive equipment. I took off the gun, got my $600 scope I took off, which is Vortex, the Vortex Viper HS long range. I took off my poly scope rings from Vortex. I went to the Sportsman's Warehouse here in Williston, and I talked to a guy for probably 2 hours, just chatting with about guns. Like, dude, I need something quality. What do you have? I don't even care price, really. Just tell me what is a good gun in the market right now. What's new? What's old? And finally settled on Bagara. And I'm so happy I bought a Bagara. If no one's heard of Bagara, or no one has shot a Bagara yet, Bagara is a long-time barrel manufacturer that makes competition barrels in Spain. One of the top competition barrel makers in Spain. And they've recently got into the gun world with actually making rifles now. And they guarantee sub-MOA. Just really good guns. And the reason why I bought this, I actually was going to go in there looking at Howas, and the guy basically talked me out of it, which is something you really don't usually want to do, is buy something you know nothing about. But this guy was so, like, when you talk to somebody that's really, like, adamant, not adamant like pushy, but adamant like I like them personally love something, it just kind of like, it just piques my interest, man. It's like, well, if they love it this much, it's gotta be good.
See, I'm almost the opposite. I'm almost like, oh, you love it that much?
You think it's skepticism?
I'm like, oh yeah, bro, it's that great.
Well, see, here's the thing: is if it was just anybody, I think it's a personality thing too. Just talking to this guy for a couple hours, it's like all of a sudden we know each other.
You were in the store for hours?
I was in there for two hours talking with him.
Oh my goodness!
And he told me, he said he was retired and went back into Sportsman's Warehouse to just have something to do. Older guy, really nice. And said he has 50, I think he said he had 56 guns, I believe, 56 rifles.
Holy tits, how nice can you be when you got 56 guns?
And he said out of all his guns he has right now, his absolute favorite is that Bagara. That's one he uses every time he goes out now, is that Bagara. And what really sold me was when he was telling me his pre-break-in period with cheap break-in rounds was getting sub-MOA at 200 yards. I was like, bro, if you're telling the truth and you had that kind of accuracy with cheap, just throwaway break-in rounds for the break-in period, I was like, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want. I needed good, solid, stacking pennies, driving tax accuracy. And that's what I got out of
You
it. I
didn't
was
you
really
didn't
happy.
say like you said the brand, but you didn't say what you got.
It was I got the hunter model, so it's the Bagara B14 Hunter. They have a lot of different options. If you're more into match shooting, if you're more into
You mean it was a
um,
7 mag? It's a 7 mag.
let's just say yes. I'm sorry, it was a 7 mag. It was the Bagara B14 Hunter was the model, and the 7 mag is what one I got. But
Because you couldn't
yeah,
break away. Weren't you thinking about the Creed more or no?
oh, I am. I want a Creed more. I want the 6.5, which I hear is a Justin Bieber gun. I don't know where that came from. I feel like
Justin
I,
Bieber.
they say it's the Justin Bieber
What?
gun of the gun world. I don't know why. I think it's a popularity thing. It's like everybody and their mother bought a 6.5 Creedmoor, so now it's like, it's the or maybe Justin Bieber shot it. I don't know. I don't follow Justin Bieber, so I don't know how that saying came along. But okay. Well, the whole gun thing, as far as the Bagaras, I really like the Bagaras. They're a great gun. If you're looking for a new gun, I would definitely recommend go checking the Bagaras out. They have their different series. The one I got's their base kind of hunting package. If you like doing long range, they got the HMR series. If you're
What is it? What is HMR?
HMR stands for hunting and match rifle.
I feel like this is very basic knowledge that I don't have.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know if a lot of people know what HMR would stand for. But yeah, hunting match rifle is what HMR stands for. And then they have their HMR Pro series, which is basically the exact same gun, just with a little bit upgraded. They have the fluted bolt in it. I think they may even come with a muzzle brake on the HMR Pro. I'm not positive about that, but they start getting up into like the $1,200 to $1,500 range, I believe. You start reaching into the pros. Actually, it's probably more. I think it's like 17. Regardless, they're great guns. I love them. I love mine. I'll probably buy another one. I'm looking at the 6.5 Creedmoor just for a fun plinking gun. And I'm probably gonna get the HMR Pro pad. I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Anyways, so I guess we'll end it here.
We'll end it here.
Good ending spot.
It was nice talking to you. I enjoyed it.
It was fun. It was fun. Like always. We have much more to do.
We're gonna keep doing this, man. It's been a blast, a blasty blast. I just enjoy talking to you so much.
Likewise. I mean, no homo, but likewise.
No homo. Likewise. Yeah. So thanks for hanging out with us. This is Tan&Dan signing out for the third time. Have a good one.
Peace out.